Ever wonder why some edits instantly feel cinematic, while others look plain? It's not about expensive plugins or having the fastest laptop. It's about knowing the right techniques, the small details that make your edit stand out. Every creator you admire once started at zero.
Hi everyone, today we are going to create a trendy reel. These type of reels are going viral on the internet. So let's begin. First of all, I have brought on all the assets here. Also, I'll be providing this in the description so you will be able to follow along. In the start, as you can see, the first scene will be this. Okay, so to create these scenes, okay, what we'll be needing is first this, dotted, lines, then this paper, pen, clips, okay, these all. So first let's bring this dotted line. So I'm just going to bring this dotted grid over here, hit S to open up scale properties, and then make it bigger. Now I'll head on to effects and presets and search for invert, okay, and then put it on this to get this. So what does invert basically do is it reverses the colors. Okay, so if I switch this off, these squares were black and the lines were white, but if we turn this on, it becomes the opposite. Okay, now for the next part there is the shadow. Okay, so I'm just going to head on to project, okay, and bring the shadow on top, hit S, select the mode, okay, and make it multiply to give this look. Okay, now for the next part are these photos. Okay, whatever this photo, this clip, okay, this paper and this pen. So I'm just going to bring them in. Old frame, okay, hit S to make this small, okay, and we have to place it over here, which is at the center. We can bring the clip a bit down, bring this, and we have to make this a bit larger. Okay, then I'm going to bring this video, okay, which will be present inside this. So how to do that? First of all, I'll hit S for opening scale properties, okay. Hit T on this video to open up opacity and reduce the opacity so you can see the paper behind this. Now select this rectangle tool and now we have to just simply mask it, okay. So click here and make a mask like this. Okay, now if you see, you'll get that video inside, but as you can see there's some texture on it. Okay, so what we'll be doing is head on to our Vox texture, okay, and bring it on top of this. Again I'll hit T to reduce the opacity, okay, and simply mask this out too. Now I'm going to simply again head on to mode and select multiply. Okay, so you get this texture, okay, on top. So we have designed our scene. So let's add some effects, okay, which will give this cinematic look. Okay, first of all, right click, new, okay, and then adjustment layer. Let's rename this to noise. Okay, then I'll head on to my effects and presets and search for noise. Bring this on top of this. Okay, let's increase it a bit. Okay, 5 is okay. Now what I'll be doing is just deselecting the eye icon, because as now we are making this, okay, the project, we don't want to apply all these filters now. We need to just apply it and check if it's looking okay or not, and then I'm deselecting this so it doesn't put load on the preview. Okay, then Next, another adjustment layer, and this will be our filter. Okay, head on here and search for looks, and I'll put this over here. So everyone might not be having this, okay, looks, because it's a third party plugin. Okay, I'm using this to, for a quick way, but you can always use, you don't need to do this part now. Okay, the filter part, you can always do it in the post production process, whereas you complete all the animation and just, take it to any of your editing software like, Premiere Pro or any other. Okay, and you can, just add a filter to it which you like. Okay, which gives a good vibe to the whole project. Okay, so for me, okay, this, look is looking this look is giving the vibe, so I'm going with this. Now I'll create another adjustment layer. Okay, rename this to blur. Okay, so and search for Gaussian blur. Okay, this one everyone will have, and then I'll just increase it. Okay, select this and double click. Okay, head on here and make it inverted, and then increase the feathering. Okay, to give that, as you can see over here, blurred look at the edges. Now for the next part is the animation. So as you can see over here, there's this paper animation on this. Also, we forgot to bring this pin, so I'm just going to, to projects and bring our pin inside and put it below these. Okay, let me just simply deselect the eye icon, hit S and make it small. And now, as you can see over here, for animation, this paper is moving. Okay, so to do that, first of all, I'll select the paper. Okay, this meaning the components which are inside this. So first of all, the texture which we used, the video which we used, and the frame. Now hit Control Shift C to make it a pre-compose. Okay, and we'll rename this to center paper. Okay, and select these and hit OK. Simply select this. Okay, head on to effects and presets and search for page turn and just put it on this. Okay, I'll simply select this to classic UI, and if you move this, if you move, this anchor point, okay, you'll get this. So I'll just keep it over here, something like this. Okay, and then I'll just simply hit Alt. Okay, hit Alt and click your left mouse button on this fold position to make this red. Okay, which opens the expressions. And now we have to simply, add some wiggle, make it 2 comma 8 and close the bracket. Okay, now you'll get this effect. Okay, if you wanted to make it more fast, then change this to something 5. Now let's see, the next animation is these lines and zooming in. So lines are crossing each other. Okay, and then text is coming while other look plain. So let's do that. First, select the pen tool, delete the fill. Okay, enable stroke and make this a bit grayish. Okay, now we have to make something like this, and now I'll just make another line and select these two and make sure to put it behind our main paper. Okay, now simply just select these and rename this and select both of them, hit T to open opacity and reduce the opacity. Okay, and now we have to animate it, so it will zoom in. As you can see, this is moving too. Okay, now first right click new and head on to camera, hit OK, new, and then null object, make it 3D, and everything else except our dotted shadow and our shadow. Okay, also our filters which we have used, or the effects like the blur, filter, noise. Okay, don't make them 3D, just we have to do the animation. Let's rename this to cam movement 1. Okay, connect this camera 1 to cam movement 1, and then first scene will be zooming in. Okay, so select this, hit P for position, go ahead 1 second. Let's zoom this in. Okay, F9, select this, drag it close. Okay, and now movement of this paper. So what we are going to do is select this, hold Y and drag the anchor point here. Okay, now simply select R for rotation, select Z rotation, go ahead and turn it like this, then again go ahead and turn it to this side. Now simply we have to just copy these two and just paste it. Okay, you have to bring this closer. Now what we have to do is I'll just switch on these effects. Okay, so you can see how our video is looking. As you can see, it's looking very good. Okay, you can add subtle movements to these two. Okay, so that the whole scene is moving, but we forgot one thing, which is these lines. So just select these lines, hit add and trim paths, open this, click the end keyframe, hit U to open our keyframes, go ahead and again click the keyframes and then go to the start and make this 0. Okay, so there's this animation. Okay, now I'll deselect these filters. Okay, now for the next part, this whole scene will go to the right with this paper animation and this will fall down. Okay, with the text. So P for position and go ahead and then drag this down. Okay, F9, slow towards the start, faster towards the end. Okay, and we want this to go, so simply hit T. Okay, for opacity keyframe, go ahead and make this 0. F9, and now the next thing is this text, while other look plain. Right click new text, type this, put this over here. Okay, and for the text there's a simple animation which I'll be doing is head on to effects and presets, and I'll be bringing in my preset of text fade up. Okay, so when this will go, I'll just bring in my animation or preset and put it over here to get this effect. Okay, now if you want the same thing in many of my previous videos, you can see my previous 2 to 3 or 4 5 videos in which I have made this text animation in custom way, okay, with from scratch without any preset. So you can check that video, okay, to get how to make this text animation. And now simply just after it falls down, text reveals, select the cam, okay, hit P for position, go ahead and drag this whole scene to the right, F9, okay, and drag this towards the left to get this animation. Now let's switch on all our effects. Okay, as you can see, there are some more effects which are remaining. Okay, so to do that, I will show you what we have to do. Is basically, as you can see, there's the full grid showing. So what we need to do is select this grid by clicking on this dot. So what will happen? Only grid you will be able to see. Okay, now simply select this, okay, and select the rectangle tool and make a mask on this. Okay, something like this, and then simply feather it out. And now you can see it's looking okay, more proper. Also just select T on this and reduce the opacity, okay, of this. So the dotted line will become less visible on the screen. Okay, and now after this goes towards the left or out of the frame, then there is this money overlay. So I'm just going to bring my money overlay, bring this over here. Okay, and now you can see there is this. Okay, so again simply I'll just hit Control D over here to copy our text and bring it here in the center. Okay, let's see what's written. Expensive plugins. So I'll just change the text. And now to bring this image, okay, so I'm just going to head on to this PNG, okay, bring it over here, make it 3D first, hit S, okay, to make it bigger, and then bring the CC page turn effect on our PNG and select this fold position, and I'll just put it over here, okay, like this. Click on this Alt and left mouse button to open this, okay, expressions, and then again we'll be typing wiggle, open bracket 5 comma 8 close bracket. So you'll get this animation. Okay, now from here, after this last paper comes, the scene changes to this, okay, RTX, and then this. Okay, so simply after this we need to delete this, so I'll delete this. Okay, Alt and the right bracket, cut, select the text, Alt and right bracket to cut. Okay, now simply again hit Control D to copy this text, bring it over here, and then hit U, okay, and R for rotation, and this rotate this, S to scale it, and put it over here. Okay, right click, then layer styles, gradient overlay. Okay, select this, open this, edit gradient, and let's select this red part and make it white. Okay, make this radial on top. Okay, let's bring it below this. Okay, and make it 3D. Hit S for scaling and bring it over here. Okay, so this will be, you know, so up and around here. I'll select this and our text and bring it over here. Okay, and from here we have to do a simple animation where this will go up. Okay, so select this, hit P for position, and go ahead, again hit P for position, go to the first keyframe and drag this down. F9, drag this towards the left. Okay, as you can see in the whole video, there are some shakes. Okay, so what we'll be doing is I'll bring in another new adjustment layer. Okay, bring it with our other adjustment layers. Okay, and then make sure that above your these effects nothing is there except the camera. Okay, camera you can keep, okay, no problem, but all the images, all the effects, everything will be below this. Now I'll just rename this to shake. Okay, and now I'll be head on to effects and presets and search for transform and bring transform on this. Okay, also I'll search for slider control and bring it over here. Now simply hold Alt and hit with your left mouse button in this position to open this expression, and now we have to type this. Okay, so what this does is it connects our slider with our position. Okay, so if you increase the slider, the position will change. Okay, so let me show you. So I want to do a shake effect. Okay, so where we want it is over here. Okay, when this drops, so just simply select on slider, hit U, go ahead. Okay, then let's increase this, as you can see. Okay, and then go ahead again and copy and paste this to bring it to normal. So you'll get this effect. Okay, okay, whereas in these frames I want the shake effect to be there but little. Okay, so I'll just go over here. Okay, and increase the shake to around 2 and Alt and drag this out. Okay, As you can see, there's some movement towards the whole video. So in the start I made this 2, okay, and then here again I made it 2, sorry, 0.02 or 0, and then this one I made it 10, and again here I made it 2, okay. So again there will be some movement here, and another sharp movement will be around here, okay. So I'll just copy this and paste it over here. Okay, you can also add another effect here, invert, okay, for one frame. So basically again, new adjustment layer, put it on top, rename this to invert, okay, search for invert here and put it like this, go here, okay. We need the invert in during the shake, okay. So simply hit alt and left bracket to cut from the start, and alt and right bracket to cut from the end. Let's make this smaller, okay. Now let's see the animation. So this will be it for the first part of this animation, okay. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be coming back with the second part of this animation soon, so make sure you practice this up till then.